Hello YouTube, so it's Steven again with another video, and today I want to talk about why the Amex Platinum is probably the best credit card I ever use. And to this date I haven't canceled it. I've been a card holder for almost 3 years now, and I'm going to continue holding this card as long as it can provide value with my lifestyle. This video is mainly for the Canadian watchers out there. I'm gonna show you how, like that $800 annual fee is actually worth it. The American Amex Platinum might have different perks and features versus Canada. Generally, the Canadian version is a bit weaker than Americans just because they have more competition there and more options. So I'm actually gonna skip the welcome bonus when it comes to the Platinum card. You can actually easily find it online about what Amex has to offer as a welcome bonus. Generally, I think like most of the time you'll get 100,000 MR point as a welcome bonus. And later on in the video, I'm going to explain how to redeem these MR points. Generally, if you're applying on your first year, there's actually no risk to you because that welcome bonus literally pays for itself. You use your first year to see how, how holding a Platinum card fits your lifestyle. Does it make life more expensive? Does it fit into your lifestyle? Because if it does, then this is actually quite a really good card to hold. If you're spending more and you don't value the perks, then most likely this card is not for you. So let's get started with the dine-in credit. Because this credit, like a lot of people will suggest, like you're paying $800, but they're giving you $200 dine-in credit. So essentially it's just $600, right? But actually, unfortunately, that $200 dine-in credit is from restaurants picked by Amex. And oftentimes these restaurants can be a bit pricier than, like if you were to go out and eat. Like, let's just say you're a person who spends $30 on a meal, just going out to eat with friends, which is quite common in Canada, like $30 to $50, 60 at most probably to go out and eat. But unfortunately, that's $200 dining credit. You have to spend it all in one bill. So you can invite, for example, your friends or your family, put it all into one tap, then split it later. That still counts as the dining credit. And another thing to note is some of the restaurants Amex picks are actually quite hard to get a spot in. So you had to reserve like weeks to months in advance, depending on, what city, what province you're in. Another important thing to note is this dining credit actually resets in the calendar year. So it doesn't reset in the anniversary year of your card. So for example, you apply in, let's just say October or September, the dining credit will give you $200 and it will reset again in January. And if you don't use this credit, you actually lose your $200 credit. So my suggestion is each year, you keep track on if you use the dining credit or not. If you haven't, then really look at the restaurants. I'm gonna show you, like these are the restaurants by Amex. You have to look through their website to see, your city, what restaurants, and then you could probably use Google search to find out their menu. So $200 is quite hard to spend on a single meal. So a trick that I use is I went to the restaurant to see if they offer gift cards. And if they offer gift cards, you can charge $200 on the gift card, and automatically Amex will kind of see that you spent $200 on that restaurant and it will kind of redeem the offer. So after you redeem the $200 on that restaurant, you actually still earn MR points from that restaurant. So later on, I'm going to talk about, how much points are worth. I did the math on this. So now that we subtracted $200 from that $800 annual fee, we get a, like a total of just $600 left to spend from this card. The other $200 comes from something called a travel credit. So my suggestion with this is you want to check for the cheapest flight, the cheapest hotel in different competitors. For example, you're looking at Expedia, Google Flights, you're looking at hotels.com, and then check out the Amex website. If it's the same price, then you want to book on the Amex travel website, because it might be the same price and you still get that travel credit. If you couldn't find something that, Amex is cheaper than their competitors, then probably try to find a hotel that has, like one of those, like cancellation, like free cancellation. So you can book it, redeem the $200, then cancel it after, and then you earn that $200 back. Sometimes you will see hotel perks, which I'll explain later. and on the Amex travel website, and it's the same cost anyways as if you were to book on Expedia. In those cases, book on Amex, redeem the $200 and get the perks. So you do get quite a bit of value from booking with Amex travel sometimes. But generally, like I book travel once a year, and I book it through Amex travel, maybe like very, very rarely, but you know, like if it's a pretty good deal and you have that $200 credit, you might as well book from Amex travel. So for that $200 travel credit in the past year, what I've used it for is I actually booked a hotel in Barcelona. And it's actually part of the Amex hotel collection, not the fine resort and not that fine resort and hotel kind of thing, but it's just a hotel collection. The hotel came with early check-in, late checkout, free $100 credit, upgraded room, and perfect to use that $200 travel credit to book with. But unlike the dining credit, the annual travel credit actually resets on your card's anniversary. So if, for example, your card, you signed up in October, for example, actually, if you don't use that $200 credit, you actually lose it. So my suggestion is to try to book a hotel through their website before that date, because if you lose $200, that $800 annual cost will be actually quite hard to kind of beat. So to apply this $200 credit, you had to go to the Amex website and you had to select the option to redeem your annual travel credit. And if you don't select this option, you actually could be charged the amount without that $200 showing up as credit back to your account. The credit usually shows up in the next few days after booking, and it triggers when you select that on the Amex website. So don't forget to do that step. So here's another perk that you get Amex Platinum. Unfortunately, they are changing this because of overcrowding in lounges. But if you spend about $20,000 a year, then you get this perk with unlimited lounge access starting 2027. Priority Pass gives you unlimited access to you and an additional guest. But if you don't meet the spending requirement I was talking about earlier, then unfortunately, you will be limited to just 6 access in a year. And if you need more than 6, it'll be about $32 USD per visit per guest. Unfortunately, this perk does suck starting next year. But if you're the type of person who like books like a vacation, for example, for everyone, for example, in your family, and let's just say they pay you back, then like if you're booking a vacation for 5 people, you can get that $20,000 pretty easily. So when it comes to the Priority Pass lounges, to be honest, they're usually not too, like, it includes like Plaza Premium and all that. In my opinion, these lounges aren't as as good as other lounges, in my opinion. I went to quite a few of them, and they offer food that are pretty high in carbs. It's just not too great of food. They have alcohol in some lounges. In order to know what the lounge offers, my suggestion is go on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you look up Priority Pass. Once you download the app, you can actually go into the app to see which airport you're planning to go to, and which lounge access, see their hours, see their amenities. Do they offer alcohol? Do they offer food? And then you can click that lounge, and it will tell you how to get there from the app. Because Amex offers more than Priority Pass. They offer Centurion lounges, Delta Sky, for example. But I'm gonna talk about those because you have to actually book with the airline in order to get into these lounges. And sometimes Delta, for example, doesn't allow you to bring an additional guest, so which really sucks because it doesn't allow you to do that. Lufthansa allows you access to their Lufthansa Business Lounge, and if you're flying business, they allow you to go into the Senator lounges, but no free guests as well. So the partner airlines doesn't allow free guests, and you must be flying Lufthansa or Delta Air to get into their own lounges. Unfortunately, this happened to me when I was in Haneda Airport a couple of years back. There's no Plaza Premium lounges, only these partner lounges, and I wasn't flying with Delta or Lufthansa, so it really sucks. You don't get a lounge, but oh well. They have a 7-Eleven there, which offers, probably better food than Plaza Premium. I talked about how, you can find lounges on the Priority Pass app, but actually the preferred way is actually going into the Amex app. So this is the Amex app. And as you can see, under the membership, I had to cover the Priority Pass because it includes my number there, and I just don't want the world to see what number I have. But under the card, there's overview, which shows your balance, and then there's membership. Under membership, you just have to scroll all the way down, and then you just have to click Find a Lounge, and then this will give you the Welcome to American Express Global Lounge Collection. And then you can just continue and search for, you can look for example, let's just say you're in, I was talking about Haneda. So let's go to Tokyo, for example. So this is Tokyo Haneda Airport. And then now you can see, this is, I didn't see that last time, but there's now Centurion Lounge in there. And it tells you what terminal. So now there's Delta Sky, Power Lounge, Premium, and then you can see all the lounges, which ones are open, which ones are closed. For example, Centurion Lounge, and it tells you the hours of operation, the location, the requirements and guests, what amenities they have. In my personal opinion, you want to use the Amex app, finding lounges, just because the Plaza Premium app is quite limited, and it only shows you the Plaza Premium lounges, which, like I said, they aren't as good as, Centurion lounges, which are much better in my opinion. I went to at the Centurion Lounge in Las Vegas, and I would say it offers way better things to food. It offers way better food. More comfort, it's brighter. I feel like it's also scented inside too, so it's quite a welcoming experience from Amex. Another thing I like about the Centurion Lounge is actually it allows you to bring like 2 guests, but be sure to check that Amex app first, just because sometimes lounge has their own rules, and they might have different kind of like rules, conditions before you enter, but my suggestion, like I said, is to use the Amex app under membership tab, scroll down and click Find Lounge to see, what lounge is there at that airport, so you can kind of know, what amenities you're looking for. Do they offer alcohol? Do they offer food, hot foods, showers? Do they allow a guest to enter? All of that is actually included in the Amex app, and you can actually use that app to kind of find the right lounge for you. So for all that lounge access, I'm not going to put a value on this because unfortunately the 20,000 spending changing next year. Before this, it used to be worth around $400. For example, if we were to go into Priority Pass website and you were to sign up for unlimited lounge access, an annual fee, it will be $400. And then that way you can actually make your whole annual fee with this app, with this lounge access, and also the $200 dining, $200 travel credit. That will be $800 right there. But unfortunately, they're changing that. It's going to be 20,000 spending in a calendar year, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how to put a math on that. In my personal opinion, I'm not going to put a dollar value on this. This lounge access with the Centurion Lounge, I will group it as something called priceless, because it's an experience that some people do value a lot. And going to an airport, having to wait in line, you might as well sit somewhere more comfortably. So this section, I would just put priceless in it. Right now, the total is still $400 to redeem. I'd rather be a bit more conservative than saying it's worth a lot more than than what it is worth. So the next section I want to talk about is actually Amex offer. This section I think is quite underutilized. For example, Amex actually has quite a lot of offers in a year, and unfortunately these aren't guaranteed. So will I know what Amex will have next year for discounts? I don't know actually, but this year they offer quite a bit of discounts on a lot of products that I use every day anyways. So I do put a pretty hefty dollar value into this. I'm surprised how much I spent on Amex offers actually and how much money I got back out of it this year. So when you click on the Amex offer app, sorry, I had to cover my number up there. That's why you don't see it. It's actually at the very bottom, Amex offer. This is the Walmart offer where, you know, you spend each month spend this much on monthly Walmart Plus membership and you get 100% back. Pretty good if you use Walmart, for example, sunglasses, Dior, Caesar. So I'm gonna break down how much value I extracted from this Amex offer, like perk itself. This is where that kind of coupon thing came out of Amex, for example. Why some people call this like a coupon card, for example. So the best deals I had for this year is I spent a Lululemon, you get 4 uses. So $100, every $100 you spend, you get $50 back. So essentially you're getting 50% off at Lululemon. Like that's pretty good, right? So what I do is I actually go to Lululemon, I buy a $100 gift card. You have to, and another thing is you have to activate these offers by adding it to your cart. You have to click this and it actually has to register to your card. So I went to Lululemon and I bought a $100 gift card 4 times. So yes, essentially I spent, let's just say $400 on Lululemon on gift cards. But here's the perk. I actually get $50 back, almost in a few days after triggering that transaction from Lululemon. So essentially that $400 is actually $200. Really strong perk if you're gonna buy clothing anyways. And Lululemon actually has pretty, like comfy clothing. So, might as well, right? Like it's actually a pretty strong perk. So right there, it's $200 cash back. So another perk they had this year was spend $20 at Subway and you get $5 back. So I went to Subway and I, bought a gift card for $20 and I got $5 back. So that's another $5. Ray-Ban, I never thought I would get into sunglasses, but it's quite sunny right now. And, having sunglasses can help quite a bit, especially if you go on vacations. Ray-Ban, you spend $175 and you get $35, back, which is a pretty good, offer as well. Expedia, yeah, if you book hotels, you know what I mean. So you get 10% back on hotel purchases. You get $140 back. Really good deal as well from Expedia. Then there's hotel.com, which I actually don't use hotel.com too often, so I didn't really use this perk. Another one is, for example, I'm gonna fly out to New York this year, and I'm gonna go towards the Toronto airport. So the Toronto airport is, you spend $60 and you get $30 back. So quite a bit of discounts. It's gonna be more than the value of the card already, which is actually quite amazing. And it's only like July, for example. So it's a pretty good pretty good card to hold. I'm already in the positive. So I'm gonna probably hold this card another year just because I extracted more value than the annual fee. The next perk I wanna talk about is actually hotel status. I'm gonna group this category as priceless again, just because hotel status, you can't really pay for hotel status. You can't pay them directly, so you can earn, gold with Marriott or Hilton. Holding this card actually grants you automatic status. These aren't the highest, status that they offer, but they are still status that gives you some perks. So in Canada, for example, you normally only start off with 3 weeks of vacation in a year. Normally earning these hotel status is actually quite hard to earn in the first place. So having this card actually helps you kind of get those status right away. With Marriott Gold, sorry, this is quite hard to memorize, so I have it written down. So Marriott Gold gives you 25% bonus point on every dollar you spend, earning you free nights a lot faster. Free, room upgrades when it's available. It's for better views, higher floors. You get corner rooms, 2 p.m. late checkout, and even sometimes faster Wi-Fi. Usually these are subjected to availability, so they aren't guaranteed, but having hotel status does sometimes help quite a bit. With Hilton Gold on the other hand, you get free breakfast or dining credit. Really good perk. I went to Venice, for example, and they had all these perks in a room upgrade. We were going to a higher floor. It was quieter. Really like this perk a lot. 80% bonus points. Fifth night is free when you book entirely with points, and resort fees are waived. So this part, it's actually another part that I kind of want to talk about this card and its perks. Lots of people might, skip this section, but I think insurance is quite important when you're traveling. Just because, let's just say you're out of province and something happens to you, or it can totally ruin your whole financial trajectory. Like, you've seen on the news, like people who, unfortunately did something during the trip that requires them to, call an ambulance, be in a hospital. Always be sure to check the website because, sometimes Amex changes their, the rules and insurance policies and all that. But at the time of the recording, you get $5 million Canadian coverage for you and your spouse and dependent children for 15 days. But you must be 64 years and younger to have this. So normally what I recommend doing is calling the number at the bottom of your card to kind of let them know that you need travel insurance, unless you're incapable of and you really needed the insurance and it's a really severe medical emergency, then you can't call, right? I actually had to use this once when I was in Hawaii, where I stepped on a sea urchin, unfortunately. So how to redeem this? When I got back to my home province, is I went to the Amex app, under account, click this chat feature and let them know what happened. They will make you probably fill out forms, send them documents that you had from the clinic, and then make sure you keep all your documents from that, like that hospital stage to clinic to, claim it on insurance later. Because if you lose those paper, take pictures of it, scan it into your folder, put it on Google Drive, because if you lose these, I don't know if you can even claim insurance anymore. And then they will prompt you on what you need to submit, where to find those forms, all done in that, that Amex app. And they will send you emails, you reply to them, follow their prompts. That's how you redeem insurance. Amex also offers trip delay. So if you charge your flight and your hotel costs onto your card, then what happens is you get flight delay insurance. So for example, if you're going to an airport, you're flying at night, you go to the airport and you found out, oh no, your flight is delayed by more than 4 hours. What can you do, right? Amex can give you $1,000 on, reasonable living expenses like food, hotel stay, toiletries, just for that night. So you can, kind of, feel more comfortable. You can go to a hotel, sleep better, and then go to the, your flight the next day. Right now, flights are becoming more, I guess more on time now than, right after COVID. So this perk, really weird, you might need it, but it's still very nice to have. It makes your travel experience a lot better. Then there's also baggage delay insurance too. So if you had checked bags, or your baggage are delayed for 6 hours or more, then you can get up to $1,000 to buy essential items. This insurance is quite useful too. I don't see too much credit cards or even through work that offers this kind of benefit. Then there's travel cancellation. For example, if you have to completely cancel because you're sick or for another reason that's covered through Amex website, they can cover you up to $2,500 a person, but up to maximum $5,000 for non-refundable expenses. There's also trip interruption. For example, you're on a vacation and unfortunately you found out some bad news. You had to cut your trip short because of some unexpected thing. Amex can actually cover you up to $2,500, but to a maximum of $6,000 to get you a flight back home, and also the unused portions of your vacation. There's also luggage and baggage insurance. So let's just say you have a baggage, your luggage for example, and it's stolen, lost, or damaged in a hotel burglary. Amex will give you about $1,000 to cover, those unexpected events. Then there's car rental insurance, as long as you charge the full, cost of the rental. Then Amex also have everyday protection. For example, if you buy an eligible physical item, within 120 days of purchase, Amex can generally repair it, replace it, or refund you. Buyer's insurance. So what happens is if you have warranty on that product that you bought and it expires sooner, for example, that warranty only lasts 1 year, Amex can actually double the manufacturer's original warranty for up to an additional year. So now we're arriving at the next kind of perk that Amex has. This is actually one of the perks that I heard a lot of YouTubers, for example, earlier on, before I applied to this card, they really praise over, and that's actually concierge. I'll rate this as priceless as well. A lot of YouTubers I heard, they almost make it sound like it's Amex does like miracle work. Really, please tone down your expectations. These are not miracle workers. They are just basically like working professionals like you and I. They have a job, we have a job, and we're not miracle workers, so are they. They can't make what's impossible, like sold out tickets most of the time. If it's really sold out, it's gonna be sold out. They can't, print another ticket for you. There's no seats, right? But that being said, there are, sometimes Amex might have partners with some shows and venues that might have some reserved seats for, Amex card holders. But really tone down your expectations. If you want to find information, be practical too, right? Sometimes it will be much quicker to do like a quick Google search. For example, you're wondering when a museum closed, if a restaurant is, serving certain meals, you can just go on Google, search the restaurant, find their phone number, call them yourself. It's going to be much quicker than, going through a third party like Amex. Think of your concierge as more like a professional time-saving kind of tool. Lots of time-consuming tasks like booking a restaurant. What Amex does is they can check that reservation spot every single day to make sure, let's just say you want to book a restaurant, for myself, I want to book Win Buffet, on Christmas Day, months in advance, right? It's going to be so time consuming if I'm on the computer every day, hitting refresh, seeing, which date are they booking up to, it will be easier to just call Amex. Hey, I want to book a restaurant on this day. This time, these are the time ranges I'm willing to book. Can you check for me, booking when they show up and they're able to? That can save you a lot of time, right? You don't have to do that every day. It takes a lot of the brain power away from you so you can do other things. That's what I think this perk is better for. How I wrote this down is it's a 24-hour, 24/7 remote personal assistant desk. You can call or email to handle time-consuming tasks, such as logistics, research, and bookings. It is completely free. They don't charge you an hourly rate, no subscription fees. You only pay for the actual goods and services sold and booked on your behalf. No guarantees though. I had some restaurants that are so booked full when I was on vacation that even the people at Amex cannot handle that kind of demand. So tone down your expectation in this part. Another perk that Amex has is actually the Lexus credit. So if you're a frequent traveler between Canada and the US, this if it's approved, you can usually skip the massive regular lines. A lot of customs and securities at airport makes you wait through. This one you don't need to enroll for this. You just have to go to the government traveler portal, and you just basically charge it on your card, and then Amex will automatically detect it, and you'll get that $100 credit back. But note that unfortunately this perk, it used to cover for the full amount, but recently the government did increase the fee, so you're gonna have to pay a bit out of pocket to get the Lexus, but they cover $100 nonetheless. So depending on where you are right now, you could, be well over the $800 annual fee if you get this or not. If you're a person who prefer to travel, let's just say to Europe or Southeast Asia, then maybe I wouldn't spend that extra money on the Lexus. But this is a perk that I probably won't ever use. I'm more of like an introvert. When I have a day off, when I have time off, I prefer to like spend it indoors. Play video games, watch YouTube videos. I'm not the type to love social gatherings. What Amex experiences it is all about entertainment, sports, and dining benefits. So, for example, you sign up for the email alerts when events will happen. You download the Amex experiences and you sign up for email alerts. They will let you know, like for example, if you get a Ticketmaster like for an event. Sometimes you even get like 1 to 3 day head start to book tickets. Amex sometimes even holds like prime seats for you, which are invisible to the regular buyers. There are like some platinum, like for the platinum card holders, there are some like perks only for platinum card holders. Like, for example, some dinners, wine tastings, Q&A with professional athletes. Despite it being a premium card, it's actually pretty bad at earning points. So I did a math on this. I made this chart. As you can see from this chart, how to calculate how much point you get into percentage cash back, let's just say. Because if you spend the points on specific, items and categories, you earn more points. And for example, if you spend on Amex travel, you get the 2 point per dollar spent and then additional points. So that's basically 3 MR points for, going to spend on Amex travel. And if you were to transfer this into a partner airline like Aeroplan, then essentially 1 MR point equals 1 Aeroplan points, and it's 1 to 1. So basically, Aeroplan is usually graded at about a 2% cashback. And MR point, since you earn 3 points per dollar spent, 3 times 2 is 6% cash back. But for example, if you were to spend it on the category everything else, for example, and you want to redeem it on, like a purchase on Amazon, or you want to purchase on PayPal, for example, this category is really low. You want, under this chart that I made, you actually want to spend the points closer to the right side of this chart. So as you can see, it can earn from anywhere between 2 to 6% cash back. But most of the time, if you look at the dining, general travel, you're gonna be probably earning around 4% cash back from this card, 2 to 4% cash back from this card, just because Amex travel can be, like quite expensive. So sometimes most of the time you won't book from Amex travel. So your expectation should be around 2 to 4% cash back from this card. So let's talk about another perk this card have. It's actually car rental status. So to register for car rental status, once again, you have to go to the Amex app. To get this perk, what you have to do is you have to go to the Amex app, scroll down to membership, click membership, and then you can actually enroll in these benefits. So once you click this, you can actually sign up for enroll in the Avis status. So that is how you redeem and enroll in these status, perks for travel. Avis Prefer is unfortunately not a really high tier elite status when it comes to car rentals. To be honest, when I travel, I prefer to just Uber. I don't like to, drive myself just because I'm not familiar with the roads. So these are 2 perks I actually do not use myself. And as you can see, even if I don't use all the perks Amex has to offer, I'm still extracting a lot of value from this card. You don't have to be the type of person to extract every single penny from this, card. Like it offers you a lot of things. Pick the things that matter to you the most. Otherwise, it's gonna take a lot of brain power to say like, oh, did I, enroll in this? Did I enroll in that? I'm gonna have to, when I go on vacation, I better get a car rental. Live life depending on you. But try to incorporate some of the benefits Amex have. You won't get it all. Like you just have to know that. So Avis Prefer is not a true high tier status, elite status. Basically, it's a standard free to join loyalty tier. It gives you 10 to 25% off, complimentary vehicle upgrades. You can even try to get higher status if you screenshot your Hertz status and submit a request for a status match to them. I heard some people do that and then they get an upgrade to their status with Avis. Hertz is more like a Hertz Gold you get with this card. It's actually more like a mid-tier status, and you enroll in the same way as Avis. So through the Amex app, under memberships, you will see Hertz Gold status and just enroll the same way. You can normally actually skip the regular, desk time at most locations. If you book ahead, you just have to go to the lot. Under the Gold lot, you can find your name and you can board and drive away. One of the exclusive perks to Platinum card holders when it comes to Hertz is actually normally, even if you're 30 minutes late to return the car, they might charge you for a full day of another day of rental. But Hertz actually gives you a 4-hour grace period if you're a Platinum card holder, which is actually a pretty good perk that Platinum cards have. Okay, so let's now talk about the spending limit on this card. A lot of YouTubers talk about this topic. It is a charge card, so there is usually no limit. In order to check your spending power, you have to go on the Amex, basically the Amex app again. And there's actually a button under your balance to basically check spending power. And in order to check spending power, you actually have to enter an amount and they will let you know if they approved it or not. It's a really weird perk as well. Okay, so let's talk about this topic now. I made this list on, like who is this card, for? Like what kind of person might benefit a lot from this card? It took me a long time to kind of gather my thoughts together because I truly believe that, a person like me who surprisingly barely spends too much money will be the right person to hold this card. So the first one is if you travel very frequently and you charge a $20,000 on a card, maybe you book vacations for everyone and people pay you back, you're the one that's the primary booker, $20,000 will be easily spent on your card, and you travel very frequently, you value those lounge access. Probably this card was worth a lot for you just because of the unlimited lounge access. Unfortunately, this card is not an earning card. If you don't like flying, you're scared of flying, you prefer, traveling by train or bus, for example, you don't fly at all. From the chart on the redemption rates, your redemptions are actually quite low on this card. So it is definitely not an earning card for you. So maybe if you don't prefer traveling, if you have a fear of flights, if you don't want to travel by flight, then maybe I would suggest looking into other cards. Maybe do a cashback card or, do a Marriott Bonvoy card for the hotel. You can still get free hotel nights instead of this card. You're a person who, values a lot of travel insurance. Just to have that peace of mind when you're going to a new country, you never know what will happen. Having a card with such a strong travel insurance really brings you that peace of mind. Then this card will actually help calm your nerves down, especially when you're in a new country. Another person who might benefit from this card is you have a lot of disposable income to spend on things like, Amex, offers. Amex offers usually don't offer essential, needs. It's usually wants. For example, sunglasses, clothing. If you have a bit more disposable income for these kind of things, then like Amex offers can actually give you a lot more value out of your card. And as you can see, this is the category I gain a lot of value in just because I don't like to spend a lot of money. But when I do, I kind of do want to spend it on things I value. And a lot of the things that Amex picks are the things I normally buy anyways. And unfortunately, each year you're going to have to reevaluate if you want to cancel this card or not. Normally, if I don't extract $800, I'm going to probably think about canceling this card. But over the 3 years, I've always made my cost with this card, so I'm going to continue holding it just because I'm making more money than I'm spending with this card. I'm pretty much this category myself actually. I don't like to go out to eat very often, but when I do, I prefer to go out on like a very special occasion. And I prefer to eat something a bit more fancier than, something that's more frequent, more cheaper, frequent meals. Another person who might want to get this card is if you're not too picky on restaurants. Like, for example, you don't mind Amex picking certain restaurants for you and you can go there, have a good lunch, have good dinner. You could spend $200 easily. maybe this card is for you. Like if you don't do that. Person that values hotel and car rental status. For example, you don't have a lot of vacation time in a year. Most Canadians only start with 3 weeks, for example, and it's really hard to earn Hilton Gold, Marriott Gold with just 21 days on a vacation. So having that automatic status and you value it, you value the lifestyle it gives you when you earn these kind of status, then it makes your life a lot easier, right? Another person I think that might maybe reconsider is if you're living by yourself. For example, you don't have a partner or someone else to spend with, to travel with. $200 on a dining credit is quite hard to spend on yourself unless you find a restaurant that offers gift cards and you can spend it on multiple meals. Another thing is lounge access. A lot of them allows you another guest. If you're frequently traveling by yourself, you might get less value than bringing an additional guest. For example, you want to go to an airport, you're hungry. How much would it cost you if you were to buy a meal in the airport? It's going to be a lot less than having to feed 2 people, right? So that's another thing. Okay, so let's talk about the cons of this card. Unfortunately, this card is almost like a coupon card. It comes with a hefty $799 annual fee. Amex will justify it with a $200 annual credit on travel and $200 on dining, but that leaves you with $399 to spend. Unfortunately, the math does only work if you're the person who only will eat at these finer restaurants anyways, because if you don't, then normally it's a waste of money. It's a weak earning card, so this card is terrible for everyday spending. For example, I'm that person. I drive electric. Let's just say you drive a Tesla. You don't buy gas anyways. You don't have a big household. You don't have a lot of grocery bills. You rarely go out to eat. For example, like $200 is hard to spend. And unfortunately, big no with this card is there's foreign transaction fee. So that's why when I travel with this card, I actually had to switch to the Visa Infinite Privilege instead of this card just because of foreign transaction fees. So overall, this card, my suggestion is it actually requires yearly reevaluation to justify if you want to renew the next year. But based on the current perks, I will continue holding this card. That being said, thank you so much for watching this YouTube video, everyone. It means a lot to me. I'm very new to this. I love to talk about Amex. Hopefully you have a great day. Enjoy life. It's a lot to enjoy when you have a good credit card. Makes your life a lot easier. Obviously, don't spend more than what you need to on a credit card. As long as it can improve your lifestyle, save you money. That's actually one of the best credit cards to hold. And Amex Platinum actually gives me that. It actually saves me money, as you can see from the math, and it actually gives me a lot of perks on top of that saving money. This is why I think Amex Platinum is actually one of the best cards I've held and I will continue to hold. Thank you so much for watching my video, everyone.